Alex is wading through the remnants of a life he thought he knew. It's late summer, and the attic is a pressure cooker of dust and old paper. He's looking for closure among the cardboard boxes, trying to process the death of a grandfather who spent his life walking the edge of the woods. At the bottom of a crate filled with rusted camping gear, he finds a small, canvas-bound book, a field guide to Devon's wildlife. It smells of pipe tobacco and dried leaves, a physical anchor to childhood memories of his grandfather tracing bird tracks by the fireplace. But as he flips toward the back, the binding cracks. The clean, printed typeface suddenly gives way to brittle, yellowed inserts. These pages are covered in a frantic, uneven scrawl, a handwritten poem surrounded by scribbled notes that bleed into the margins. The steady, quiet man Alex remembers is nowhere in these notes. The handwriting belongs to someone consumed by a suffocating paranoia. One note, pressed so hard into the paper it nearly tore it, reads, "I swear, it followed me home that night. Don't let it find you." Alex came here to pack away a life and finish a chore. Instead, he has unknowingly uncovered an anomalous artifact left behind by a man who was clearly terrified of the very trees behind the house. This poem is a Class 3 acoustic cognitohazard. Its meter is designed with a specific vocal algorithm. The rhythm of the words forces the reader's tongue and lungs into an unnatural cadence, unanchoring their consciousness from local reality. Driven by a morbid, compulsive curiosity, Alex begins to read the verses aloud in his bedroom. As he speaks the names of the entities, the black barrow, the weeping stag, the air pressure in the room drops. A sharp, localized migraine blooms behind his left eye, but the rhythm of the words drags him forward. He reaches the final verse, and the house falls into a dense, expectant silence. It isn't the empty quiet of an old building, it's the silence of a held breath. The mundane safety of the house has been overwritten by something heavy and watchful. Beyond the bedroom window, the pitch-black tree line is suddenly crowded with shapes. Dozens of blue jays are perched on the branches, perfectly still. Every bird has its head snapped at the exact same angle, staring directly at Alex. They have become the biome's biological CCTV array. By completing that vocal sequence, Alex has severed his connection to his own geography. He is now a high-frequency beacon, broadcasting his precise coordinates to a dormant, hostile biome that is already beginning to wake up. By dawn, the physical world is deteriorating. A thick, unnatural fog pours out from the trees, smelling of sharp autumn rain and copper rot. Alex looks out the kitchen window to find the tree line has physically moved. The forest is now less than 50 feet from his back porch. A manufactured, overwhelming curiosity begins to overwrite his survival instincts. Despite the freezing mist, a physical tether seems to pull him toward the back door. He slides the bolt and steps out into the fog, surrendering his safety to the land. Sitting on a rotting fence post is the black barrow cat. Its fur is a photonic sink, absorbing all ambient light like a cutout of a lightless void. It has no eyes, only twin spatial gaps where light simply ceases to exist. The microsecond Alex meets those ocular voids, his heart stutters. His unique biological signature is stripped and indexed. In that moment, he is no longer a man. He is a marked asset, logged into a tracking matrix that the forest will never relinquish. The cat blinks and melts into the mist. Alex is officially acquired prey, and the forest's automated assembly line is fully engaged to process him. Alex sprints into the tree line, but the wood does not adhere to Euclidean geometry. He runs in what he believes is a straight line, only to find himself back at the same lightning-struck oak tree 3 times. The forest is actively corralling him, shrinking the space he is allowed to occupy.
At the edge of the fog, the bramble fox stands perfectly still. It isn't just watching, it is dynamically warping the paths. As it moves, it emits a low hum that mimics human laughter, projecting Alex's deepest regrets and failures directly into his mind to shatter his focus. Through the trees, he hears a sound that freezes his blood. It's his grandmother's voice calling for him from the dark canopy. The inflection and warmth are a perfect audio replication location of a woman who died a decade ago. He looks up and sees the nest walker, a grotesque mockery of life made of clay and petrified bark. It hangs upside down, revealing a crude wooden mask sculpted into a permanent, smiling face. It opens a mouth filled with splinters and echoes Alex's own gasping breath back at him. He bursts into a massive bog called the Grinning Fen. The air here physically vibrates with a frequency that rattles his teeth.
This is the forest's primary stomach. The autumn rain he smells is a hallucinogen masking a swarm of microspores that act as an aerosolized acid. The wood operates as a sequential, predatory factory line. It weaponizes geometry to trap the body and memory to break the mind, ensuring the target is fully prepared for the final stage of assimilation. As Alex stumbles, the crimson weasel circles him through the hollow logs. Its hyperkinetic movement warps time, making minutes of flight feel like days of agonizing survival. The entity darts out and bites his calf, injecting a neurotoxin that stitches his screams, paralyzing his vocal cords and motor functions instantly. Standing perfectly still in the clearing is the apex entity, the weeping stag. It is a massive, walking biological converter with antlers of petrified oak and dark, resinous sap running from its eyes. The stag projects a crushing wave of telepathic despair. It overrides Alex's limbic system, manufacturing an artificial urge to surrender. Paralyzed and broken, Alex drops to his knees and throws his arms wide in the wet loam. This is the end of the line. Fibrous roots breach the soil and pierce Alex's skin, injecting the stag's lignin resin directly into his cardiovascular system. The resin replaces his blood with sap and solidifies his bone marrow into heartwood. His skin hardens into the texture of rough gray bark. Alex has been converted into a petrified sentinel. His consciousness is stretched and diffused into the forest's hive mind, becoming one more sensory node in the expanding perimeter of the wood. As indicated by these coordinates, Aethel is the ultimate global black site, hidden within the Bermuda Triangle. It is jointly funded by every major nation on Earth, united entirely by the terror of the anomalies they contain behind these walls. A newly archived audio file from Sector 7 Overwatch reports a successful zero-liability maintenance cycle for the wood. The tone is entirely detached, treating Alex's assimilation as a routine logistical success rather than a tragedy. Alex's grandfather was a first-generation perimeter observer. When he was terminated 50 years ago, Aethel intentionally ceded his cursed journal into his estate. They calculated a 94% probability that his descendant would eventually read the trigger aloud. The biome requires a fresh biological infusion every 10 years to maintain its geographic anchor, and Alex was the chosen sacrifice. The hollowing wood didn't hunt Alex, Aethel fed him to it. The Ouroboros Paradox is a closed loop of calculated loss, an ancient magic island maintained as a waste disposal system by a global bureaucracy that considers a human life a fair price for a stable perimeter.